Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
Great, you want to do one more?
Okay, what, more pep? We're going to increase the pep. Oh, bam. Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
Finding myself alone now under these lines. Time seems to slip from my hands. When the science will try and tell you how far we've come. We once played with stone and wood, now we play with guns. Oh, now it goes on. It goes on. Ways in life and methods to be free. So to some, like everyone, we're all trying to be happy. All gonna house down every day until there are none left. Let this world fall to misery and pain and hunger and theft. It goes on. It goes on. Sword and shield, we'll fight our way through this. With sword and shield, we will break this box where we live. And then we'll find ourselves boxed up again. With sword and shield, we'll build these walls, my friend.
Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host, and today we are lucky enough to have Kim Churchill with us, and we're in his hotel room in the Sandman Hotel in Vancouver, downtown. Now, the song that people have just heard is With Sword and Shield, and I would love it if you could tell me the inspiration behind the song.
Oh, in many ways, it was the van back in Australia. With Sword and Shield was kind of the time when I was leaving home and I was leaving a very secluded small community and going out into a massive world that sort of blew my mind, and I really felt like I had to put up a lot of barriers, initially to stop myself from being caught up in everything and from getting freaked out, and lost. So with Sword and Shield was kind of the metaphor for that. Slowly I realised that really doesn't help anything in the end, putting up a bunch of barriers, because you're not being yourself. And so the song sort of turns to describe how it can be a bad thing, holding up a sword and a shield. But that's the conceit anyway.
I was going to ask you for a time when you've needed that sword and shield when you're out there battling on tour. We play a lot of shows in mining towns back in Australia, and I can think of better things than a sword and a shield, but you can need something sometimes. There's some rowdy guys out that way. When we're touring over in WA, you end up in some pretty rowdy places. WA is the western side of Australia. A lot of mining towns, a lot of people that sort of don't abide by the rules quite so strictly as, say, those on the East Coast do, where there's a city or a town every half an hour. So there's some rowdy gigs over there. I reckon that's probably the one time I haven't felt completely safe at a pub. Okay. So then, can you talk about a time? Oh, knock at the door.
Should we get it?
I think you should.
Okay, I'm running. Yes. Got it.
Sweet. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great, and I have to share this with the listeners. As we were trying to find your hotel room, we get to the 5th floor, and he doesn't really remember what his hotel room was, so we walked down the hallway, putting in the key in about, 10 different rooms?
I would say about 10, yeah. Logic's not really my forte.
Yes. You tour pretty much constantly, so your life since high school has been a life of non-stop camping.
It has, yeah, more or less. In Australia, I kitted out the back of a camper van with a bed and you know what sort of storage spaces I needed, and just left. And I really had no place, no final destination at any time. You know, it was always just the next gig and the next thing, and it's been that way since then. You know, I'd like to have a home one day, but we'll see when the touring slows down.
Cool. So you're a surfer, singer-songwriter, and that's almost becoming a subgenre in itself these days.
Yeah, I don't understand what clarifies a surfer, singer-songwriter other than the fact that you surf as well. And so I mean, I don't know why there isn't snowboard singer-songwriters and, you know, soccer singer-songwriters. I'm not sure exactly what it means to be a surfer, singer-songwriter. But it is certainly becoming a genre in itself. I'm not sure what defines it, I guess.
I don't know either, but there seems to be a lot of you these days. So given that you're on tour so much, do you miss the surfing?
Well, it really depends what country I'm in. If I'm in Australia, surfing and touring go hand in hand. We're often would normally park at a beach wherever we stay. The van sleeps about 7 or 8 people now, so there's normally quite a few people on the road, and we park at a beach, and everybody goes surfing in the morning and stuff. I really miss surfing, touring here in Canada and in the States and stuff. Although, you know, give it a crack over on Vancouver Island. Don't know about this time. It's going to be pretty cold, I think.
Nice. Now, the one thing that sets you apart from the other guys, if you want to put yourself in that subgenre, is the instruments that you play. And I was looking at your website today, and you actually include your stage specs. You give them for people to download. So you can talk a little bit about, I guess, what you do on stage. Can you describe it for those people who are just listening to the album?
Well, I don't know what to say about that. It is available to download. I think that's more a case of we get into trouble all the time for being, because of course it says a solo artist, and we'll show up to a venue and they'll say, okay, so you got an acoustic guitar and you sing, and then we have to say, no, there's like 12 different lines to the desk, and so I think the more publicly we can get the stage plot out there to whoever needs or wants to see it, the more it will become obvious that, you know, we're not going to get to a venue and piss off a sound guy. There's so many different ways to make sound, and because there's only me on stage, every time it's different. So I kind of feel like I'm getting up there and painting an artwork in lots of ways. That's kind of what I try to do, and then layer the lyrics over the top of that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what all musicians do. But it's a lot more free form the way I do it. I have no idea if that sets me apart, but I feel like that's something that I don't see other solo artists doing so much. Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
Sitting on the shoreline with castles of sand, watch as the tide comes and rips them down again. You will find, no, you will find a long line of houses sitting in a row. Look for the ones with rusted walls and trees that dim the glow of the morning sun. The morning sun. And you follow your feet to the edge of the world. And people that you meet will often come and go. Summer's day is judged by lack of things to do. Find yourself a quiet place and wasted high you choose. There is time. There is time. Build up your answers, they'll be ripped to the ground. Take all your chances and hope you're still around at the end. Where the hell is the end? And you follow your feet to the edge of the world. People that you meet will often come and go. You attack them with your gloves, and you wield your net and row. Just hope the ones you love stick around after they know.
Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Now, the song that people have just heard is Rusted Walls.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We, to record, I think 4 of the tracks off the album were recorded in this little sort of wooden shack out on the edge of a sort of cliff face down near this beach, sort of pretty far away from everything. And Rusted Walls, I wrote about being in that shack and hanging out there. It was an amazing way to record because it was very prehistoric. You know, there was we hung microphones from the roof of the building, and actually on the album, the pictures that are on the album artwork are of that building. And so Rusted Walls was a track I wrote about our time there and the recording process. The building itself is, you know, it's on the National Heritage List in Australia. It's kind of the iconic Australian surf shack, you know, and it's on one of the best surf breaks we've got in Australia. So there's a lot of sort of beauty in the place itself. I feel like it deserved a song written about it.
Okay, so you're an Australian, and it's a true and tired cliche for Canadian artists. If they want to find success in Canada, they have to find it elsewhere first. So a lot of Canadian artists will get noticed by a UK label or the States. Then Canada will love them. As a guy who's Australian and you're touring North America and Canada, have you found that that's the same for Australians?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think I reckon it's probably the same in a lot of places. I think it ties in with the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, as soon as people feel like you're not there touring for them and you're somewhere else, and they see appreciation coming from somewhere else, they kind of go, oh, you know, wow, what's he doing? What's he up to? And I would say touring Canada has probably been just if not more helpful to my Australian career than touring Australia.
Cool. I was listening to an Aussie talk show where you were talking about you've had some really weird gigs, especially in Canada. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about one or two of those.
Yeah, man. Well, last year when we toured here, I'd never been here before, and the whole sort of the way we toured was just grab every gig, any time, any place. So somebody will let you set up and play, do it, you know. And I do a lot of busking in Australia. So we did a gig in Nanaimo over on Vancouver Island, out the front of a ladies' fashion store. And the woman, there was a festival on, and she saw me at the festival and said, "I'll pay $100 to come play at my venue." And it wasn't a venue at all. It was a PA set up on the sidewalk, and I played to cars driving past. We did another gig where they had this massive inflatable screen, and they projected a movie onto it, and like 400 or 500 people came along to watch the movie, and they let me play in the breaks. So I sort of set up in the middle of this park in Kingston and played to people watching an inflatable screen. That was pretty cool too. I'm trying to think of any others. I mean, there was tons. You know, we busked in all kinds of weird places, and some of them good, some of them bad, but all of it worthwhile, I think.
Cool. I was actually reading a really interesting quote of yours where you said that you used to write while busking, and you would take notice of what people in the street noticed you play, and then you would incorporate that into your songs. So I was hoping you could talk a little bit about that and your songwriting process. Yeah,
busking is a huge part of my songwriting process. I think because more than anything, there's a certain comfortability with busking because there's not an audience specifically there to see you. So if nobody does turn around and check out what you're doing, it's not a big deal, you know. It's not bad for anybody other than, you know, maybe your self-esteem. But so in that sense, you can be very experimental, and a lot of my songs come from starting to play a riff. If
if I notice that it's grabbing people's attention and stuff, then I feel like the riff might have a certain generic quality that people will be drawn to, you know, something that everybody can relate to. And it seems to work that almost every time whatever I start, when I create things on the spot busking, the ones that everybody starts crowding around for are always the songs that end up being big songs in my set, or sort of the more important songs on the album, stuff like that, you know. It's just works, trial and error. I've proved it as a songwriting technique for myself, and it works well.
As you get to a point where you aren't going to be busking anymore, what are you going to do to craft your songs?
Shit, I don't know. Maybe I'll just busk to my roommates or something when I get a place. I think I'll always busk though. I mean, I just find it a good way to get everything out of myself, and you know, through a speaker without having to put on a particularly good show. So it's almost like cleaning your slate. Every time you do it, you get all the ideas that are out of your head. So I think I'll always busk, but you know, I write a lot of songs in hotel rooms and stuff like that as well. It's I don't think it would be too much of an issue. Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show.
He came from far and Warrenate to land upon a peacefully soft door. And that white flag he threw led him to run forevermore. He's such a long and hard old looking on, trying to find some destiny. Search this lonely land, looking for a place to be free. Oh, thousands of years went by, I found so many different ways to think. We searched far away in life in a place where love was distinct. I see finding home seemed pretty hard, most seem to live within their heads. But in the end I'm sure you'll find that home is where the heart finds strength. I said, hey, love and home. I said, hey, love and home. Walks, he finds happiness, walking on like the swagman free. For it might not be a book that makes you happy or got above to see. We find happiness in walking on like the swag man free. For whatever keeps your soul on fire helps to keep your heart at ease.
Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill and you're listening to The Interview Show. Loving Home is a track I wrote about 7 or 8 months into being on the road, and a lot of my mates had gone to university and found apartments and flats and had really fitted into a social structure somewhere in Australia or overseas. And I felt like that was one thing that I really hadn't been able to do because I was constantly moving. I didn't have anywhere to go back to, and so I sort of got a bit down about it for a while. I felt like I was, in some ways, I was sacrificing, a life to be a musician on the road all the time. And anyway, I think that was a mistake. And Loving Home was sort of me coming to this conclusion that, home doesn't have to be a physical place that you go to and that you exist within. Rather, it can be something that's inside your head that you can take with you wherever you go. It can be a mindset. And that's what Loving Home is about. I feel like I'm at home travelling, and it doesn't matter where I am. I can make myself feel like I'm at home purely through what I keep inside my head.
You're a solo artist, so I was wondering if you could talk about being a solo artist versus being a group from your perspective.
My perspective on it, I would love to be in a group, and I plan to be in the future. But what I started doing when I left school was solo, and it was busking was solo, gigging was solo, and I've really headed down that path in a very serious way, and I feel like my music as a solo artist still has a lot to go through. The journey isn't finished. It's certainly a lot easier to tour overseas without a band, and apart from my own sort of creative differences within my own head, you don't have to deal with the different personalities and the different. There must be so many different things you have to look out for in a band. Being tactful and stuff like that, and making sure you don't upset anybody, because as soon as if one person gets pissed off and leaves, then that's the end of the band. And I feel like that's a bit risky, especially for me at the moment. So. I like being solo. I think I'll be solo for quite a while before I start looking for a band. But I will do.
I love to end the show where the artist picks a track off their current record and talks a little bit about it as I bring up the music.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about Turns to Stone. That was a song. It originated as 2 poems. I went through a big stage of reading poetry and writing a lot of poetry. And Turns to Stone was 2 poems that I felt were the equal and opposite of one another. And I was reading a lot of romantic poetry, Coleridge, Byron, Yeats, and stuff like that. And especially Coleridge, I felt there was something. With all due respect to them, I think they're some of the most amazing poets ever. But I felt like they had all these amazing ideas about religious enlightenment and stuff, and the other side of the coin was they were taking heaps of opium while they were doing it. So I was sort of like, the song is kind of this weird journey through our connections with real life and with religion and with what is manifested out of our heads and what is possibly real and stuff. And basically it's the conclusion of the song is that I honestly have no idea what's real and what's not when it comes to that. And so until such time as I work out what I believe in, I'm just I'm going to choose my own path and do my own thing. So that's what that song's about.
Awesome. So that's Turns to Stone by Kim Churchill. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Hey there, my name's Kim Churchill, and you're listening to The Interview Show. I know I need to sleep, so my pillow turns to stone. As nothing lights your mind on fire like being all alone. Welcome to the ones who think beyond their place, he said when I told him of my hours of waste. Oh, sit down and listen, there's more to my face. We start the fires, then ensue the chase. There are no guns on our shoulders, but we give the orders. No deaths to our name, but millions to our causes. We're so fucking clever, we don't have an answer. We'll make up a god who demands that we stand up and do what we're told. Even though that we don't know, it's the start of a faith, and it makes ways to trace life. It keeps us in line. It's fair to be kind, but I won't sit on my knees and be told to wear a blue tie and stop what I please. When you say I need to shine my shoes, I can leave. I don't need you in my life, but that's me. Places where the ones in our head and dreams with two faces, or deep ocean heavens and white river dances excite reverie with pills and dark glances. Oh, give me a mountain with my false mood enhances, whilst one sails you through, the other leaves chances. Oh, cracks in the road and red rivers rancid. If all life was fair, would it make us too placid like a stale swamp land and a side dish of taxes? Watch lumberjacks lead with unforgiving axes and cut down the trees. The perfumes that relax us step out of line. Watch God as he smacks us. The queue into heaven seems to lifelong distract us. It feels like I'm spinning on society's axis. Guess I'll keep my dreams, but they're more than your answers. You'll burst at the seams. No, I'll take my chances, and that's me. Call you my name.